Welcome to The On The Way, the channel where I document some of my adventures and walking trips. Currently I'm walking the South Downs Way, where I undertook wild camping for the first time. If you are enjoying these videos and they're giving you a sense of adventure wherever you are, do think about hitting the subscribe button to encourage me to make some more. So yeah, welcome back to a rather overcast summer's day in South London, and it seems quite so I've just done a leg of the South Downs Way, and it seems quite common for people to do gear videos. So in that first walk I was I made some mistakes. I took too much stuff with me, and consequently it had I got blisters, and it made the experience a bit less pleasant than it needed to be. So I thought I'd do a bit of a gear review and maybe help you out a little bit with some ideas about what you might want to take, and probably some stuff that you could leave behind. So yeah, my camp gear is really a sort of combination of budget stuff and mid-range stuff. I don't spend a lot of money on my camping gear, but gradually over the years I've accumulated some useful things. Yeah, that first pack, first time I did the South Downs Way, I'm new to wild camping. I have been camping a while, but new to wild camping. I thought I did quite a good job of trying to limit the amount I was carrying, but as it turns out, I still took too much. So I'll start with my main camp setup first of all. So I was tarp camping, so just have a basic plain tarp. This one's a camo pattern, which is kind of nice, and just got a bit of paracord around it just to keep it rolled up like that. And I can just it's very small, so it means I can either store it inside my bag, or I can just roll it up and put it under my bag. Particularly handy if it's wet in the mornings. So I've got that, and then a bag of just a bag of extra lines and pegs, which is very useful. What I was using on this walk was a bivvy bag. I've got a Snug Pack bivvy, which is very kindly bought for me for a birthday. And I must say, when I got this, I wasn't sure if I would ever really use it very much. But I've actually found it one of the most helpful bits of camping gear I could have. Even if I'm tent camping, if I'm in very wet weather and I'm not sure if my tent is going to hold up, I can always just use my bivvy bag to make sure my sleeping bag stays nice and dry. So really helpful to have some extra cover. So yeah, that's one of my favourite bits of gear. This one's got an extra sort of width to it, so you don't feel too constrained, and a bit of room at the bottom for your gear if you want to put it there. So I very much recommend the Snug Pack bivvy. My current sleeping bag, my current favourite sleeping bag is a Glacier one by Rubens, and it's all synthetic. I don't like using animal products, so it's a fully synthetic bag. They do a warmer one as well, but this is the lighter weight one. It's less than, I think it's a kilo or a little bit less. It compacts down even smaller with a compression strap. So that's my current favourite bag. Got lots of good features for a mid-range bag, very good value. And with that tied on, I've just got also a little inflatable pillow. Somebody bought me this again. I always just used to stuff a jumper into a pillowcase, which is fine, but the quality of your sleep does really affect your enjoyment of the walk. So for 100 grams or less, you can have a really lovely, comfortable pillow to put your head on. So you can get cheap ones as well, but this just happens to be quite a nice one. So it's Sea to Summit, and it's called an Eros pillow. Very, very good. And also a roll mat. So I also often just used to use cheaper roll mats, but this one, I got a Berghaus Peak Pro. They're a little bit more expensive, but fully inflatable, warm, comfortable. So again, this is one of the top items that I would recommend if you're going to spend money on anything. Or maybe I'll do a video on that as well. But one of my top three would be a good roll mat. Again, it can make a lot of difference to the quality of your sleep. So Berghaus Peak Pro. And then on this walk, what I did when I was testing this bivvy setup, I had some problems with mosquitoes. So what I did take along with me was a mosquito net this time. Interesting, I didn't use it. I didn't need it. It wasn't actually so bad. So this is probably one of the things I'll leave behind. Although it's probably sort of one of those things that in a certain situation you really wish you had. But anyway, this will be staying behind this time. Yeah, I'll go on to my cook setup. So yeah, what I use is I like a little alcohol stove, or like a Trangia equivalent. This one just comes in a little bag, and yeah, it's got a little windbreak and a little just a little alcohol stove. These are really good. They work in all temperatures. You know, you need to treat them with respect and so on, and treat them carefully. But they're really, really good. Quite heat water up quite quickly. Very lightweight, etc. You can carry a bit of fuel in them as well. So that is my personal favourite cook kit. But of course, most of the weight of this kit is in the liquid, in the methylated spirits or bioethanol that you carry around with you. One of the mistakes I made on this walk was that I just took too much of this. So I took a full 500 milliliter bottle with me, and of course I didn't need all of that at all. So I was carrying around quite a bit of extra weight the whole time. So I definitely could have left some of that behind. Got a little fire kit, matches and lighter and so on, very important. I took pans, just got some basic pans. One of the mistakes I made is I took the full set, but I only ever used one. I just used one pan and I just ate out of the pan. So actually I can reduce, I just take one with me next time. That's what I would do. And also, I don't quite know why, but I took a bowl as well. I took a bowl with me. I thought it might be nice to have a bowl to eat out of, but of course I never used it. It was just dead weight. So that's another thing I could leave behind. In terms of other tools, obviously head torch. I did take a compass with me, quite lightweight, but it's so well signposted that South Downs Way I didn't need it. If you were going somewhere a bit more remote, then perhaps it's something you can pack, but I can definitely leave that behind. I took, I've got a lovely sort of rather solid shovel kit, multi-tool shovel. I did use this, found it very helpful, but of course this one in particular is really weighty, so there's sort of no need for this. So I'm going to not take this along next time, and I might get a lighter one. This can be my van kit, so I can definitely, that should save me a good few 100 grams there. First aid kit, of course, essential, very useful. Water filter. I've got a Sawyer Mini with the bag and the straw as well. I thought this would be really helpful. I didn't actually use it once. There was so much water available on the South Downs Way, I could just fill up wherever I was. And even though the water points were quite a way away, I had enough water. So I'll probably leave that behind next time. Again, if you were somewhere more remote, if you're in Scotland or something, or Peak District, Lake District, that might be really handy. But on this particular walk, I really didn't need it. In terms of water, I haven't shown you my cook kit yet. I've got just a little bag of cooking utensils, just spoons and oil, washing up liquid, salt, pepper, etc. Just quite a small kit. I didn't need all of it quite. I took a bit too much, so I could just minimise that slightly. Obviously, still very useful, but I could trim that down slightly. Also, sunglasses, medications, a toiletries kit, etc. Alcohol gel, very important at the moment. I carried that around with me, and a flannel. I didn't take a towel with me. I just took a flannel. And I really can't underestimate the quality of a flannel. You can take wet wipes with you, of course, but you're still sort of carrying around the weight of the water. So actually a good dry flannel, really lightweight, lets you have a wash. If you want a towel, you can take a second one along, or a little travel towel, and you've got a really lightweight wash kit then. You can wash anywhere. You can also use it to wipe your tent down in the morning if it's damp, or so on. Really, really handy for the weight. In terms of water, I've also got a hydro pack, 2 litre hydro pack. I know these divide people slightly, but I really like them personally. Very useful for me so I can drink without taking my heavy bag off all the time, or having a bottle dangling around on my belt strap or bag strap. So yeah, 2 litre hydro pack. That usually when I filled it up, that lasted me at least a full day, if not a bit more than that. So one of the most useful bits of kit I have with me were 2 750 milliliter bottles, just empty bottles, and I really like these ones because they just fit in my bag pockets really well. So just having 2 of these available just meant that when I came across a water point, it was really easy for me just to fill those up, and then I had water for tea or for cooking or for having a wash or whatever. It was really handy. I didn't have to get to my hydro pack for water for tea. So 2 of those was really valuable. And then sort of other equipment, electrical equipment. Obviously, got my phone, got my filming kit as well, sort of tripod and microphone, etc. But of course, very important, a battery bank. This is a Blackweb one. I really love it. It's absolutely fantastic. I can get 4 charges out of my phone out of this, so really handy. Well worth the wait to carry around with me, and obviously cables that you need for that. One of the things I didn't take with me, which I actually will take next time, is a little plug charger. You know, it's only 50 grams, less than that, and just allows you to get a top up of your charge wherever you find a plug. I took my Kindle, took a little Kindle with me. I thought I might take a bit of time, have some rest and do a bit of reading, or at camp at night, but of course I didn't use that, so I could totally have left that at home, and will do for next time. Completely unnecessary. For me, a guidebook is essential. I know a lot of people wouldn't bother with this way on somewhere like the South Downs Way, but I found it very helpful for me to help find my way around, also just to find places I want to stay. So that's very good. And then food. So one of the big mistakes I made was take too much food with me. So I mainly subsisted on things like rice, noodles, huel, which is like a pre-packaged meal you just add water to. All good, but I just took way too much with me. So I think actually, with hindsight, what I would do is probably pack enough food for about half of the days that I was going for. So this was a sort of 2-day trip. I could have stayed up for 4 days, but I had too much with me. So I could definitely leave some of that behind. Same with tea and coffee as well. Actually, I did run a bit short on coffee. I'll take more coffee, but less things like tea and so on. So definitely could just trim that down. Interestingly, a lot of the things were just things I could have just taken less of. Control the amount I took a bit more. That would have saved a lot of weight. Clothes. Obviously, I always take my buff with me. Really handy. Face wipe. Sweatband. Face masks. Everything really helpful. Keep your neck warm as well at night if it's cold. Beanie hat to keep your head warm. Sun hat. Can't go anywhere without my sun hat. And then clothes. I thought I was very good with clothes actually. I just had a day set, which is a sort of wet set if it were wet. That can get wet, no problem. And then a dry set for the evening. And particularly, and just one jumper and a rain jacket as well. So, quite minimal really, but you can always then get into your sleeping bag dry at night and not worry. The one exception to that is socks. So I'd always take extra socks with me. So 2 pairs of walking socks at least for a couple of days, and a pair of cotton socks for the evening as well. And I can pack all that up into a little dry sack. Just pack that down, one change of clothes, and that will stay dry whatever happens. So I was very happy with my clothing setup. So by and large, that's really it in a way. It all goes into my Berghaus Ridgeway. It's a 75 litre backpack, so quite a substantial one. So I can fit way more in there than I actually take with me, but I particularly like the adjustments and straps on this bag and the pockets, so that one goes with me. I like having it basically. The first walk I took, put everything in my bag, weighed this out. And this was came to about 15 kilos dry without water, so that's food and all this stuff with me. So by the time I'd added a couple of litres of water and then topped up a bit more for the night, it's at times got up to nearly you know, 18, 19 kilos, something like that. So I'm about 80, 85 kilos, and yeah, that was quite a lot for me to carry. So particularly at the beginning phase of the walk, I did suffer quite a lot going up the hills. So taking out some of the some things I didn't use, like the or didn't really need, the Kindle, the heavy shovel, some of the cook kit, bowls, etc. Some so on. I was able to reduce the weight down, but also just minimising some of the quantities of things that I was carrying, so particularly fuel, food, etc., and a few other little bits and pieces. I was able to get my weight down to close, well, under 12.5 kilos dry. So, you know, adding a couple of litres of water to that still makes it under 15 kilos, which will make it much more comfortable for me on this next leg. Okay, so that's it. If you enjoyed this gear video, let me know. I've got some ideas for other ones I could make, but if you've got anything you'd like to see or hear about, I'd be very happy to make them for you as well. So yeah, I'm going to gear up for my next leg of the South Downs Way, and also in between that I'm also going to talk a bit and do some videos about the London Loop as well, which I've been doing for a number of years now, but I'll fill you in with that. So stay tuned, subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more, and I look forward to seeing you next time.